guys, it is day 18, and today I'm doing something that I'm really excited about. Maybe this is geeky, but I'm going to be trying out some different high bass clarinet altissimo fingerings. So the reason why I'm working on this is that my duo, Just Duet with my fiance Scott, we're coming out with our first EP this fall, and the EP is all music by our good friend and composer Adam D. Odell. He's written us this series of short little pieces based on memes and funny posts from social media, and the collection is called Clarinet and Percussion Pieces I Gone and Done. This series was actually born out of a commission we did from him for Just Duet's very first full-length new music and sketch comedy show called Shototype. And this was our encore piece. We had missed out recently on our campus's 24x24 event, which is where composers have 24 hours to write a new piece of music, and then performers have 24 hours to learn it. We really wanted to participate in it, but we were busy that weekend or something, so we decided why not do our own take on that, and we'll call it One and Done. So we paid our friend Adam 1 6-pack of beer to spend 1 hour writing a 1-minute piece for us to perform, and we would look at it one time, and that would be in the performance. So after our final piece, we handed him the 6-pack of beer, he handed us a manila envelope, we opened it up. All we knew was what instruments we were going to need, but we had never seen the music before. It was this awesome piece based on a tweet that Kanye West put out. It was ridiculous. It was really fun. There were lots of horse sounds, quotes from Gold Digger. It was a good time. So if that sounds interesting to you, then check out our EP in the fall when it comes out. I'll be posting more about that as the date gets closer. We are also thinking about doing some release parties, and maybe even coming up to Ohio to do one at BG. All very speculative at this point. Details forthcoming. So Adam recently did an edit of one of the pieces that is on the EP, and it's called I'm Thinking About Those Beans, which some of you may remember as being an interesting post on a Bush's Baked Bean Facebook page a few years ago. So there's a section where I'm screaming really high in the altissimo, and it is this note. I'll show you here. So high D above the staff, it's the octave above that. So I've messed around and I found a fingering that works pretty well for me, but I wanted to peruse the internet and see what other people suggested. I haven't tried any of these fingerings out yet, so I'm going to experiment with them here for you now. So altogether I have 8 fingerings that I'm going to try out for this double high D. 4 of them come from a fingering chart on Jason Alder's website, 1 comes from Michael Lowenstern's website, and 2 come from the International Bass Clarinet Research Center's website. I think they are based in Norway, I could be totally wrong. And then I have the one that I kind of messed around and figured out on my own. So I'm going to judge these based on intonation and ease of response. So let's try it. First up, I'm going to try the fingering that I came up with. I've got thumb and register, 1, 2, 3. I've got my sliver key on my right, and then my low G sharp key with my right pinky. So the response is fairly good. It takes a little bit of effort to get it fully up to pitch. It's maybe 5 cents flat without adjusting. But overall, it's a pretty good fingering, and it's one that I didn't really see listed anywhere else. Next I'm going to tackle the 4 fingerings on Jason Alder's website. I'm going to start out by trying thumb register and bottom 2 side keys on the right. Basically overblowing like a high C sharp. That is extremely sharp for me. So sharp, in fact, that it registered it as a half step higher. I'm going to try overblowing just high C to see if that changes things. There's a lot of lower partial in that wants to peek through, and it's very flat. Neither of those fingerings really quite worked for me. Alright, the next one he suggests is overblowing high C, but with the top side key on the right. So this might improve some of those pitch issues. So this one actually tends to be a little more on the sharp side. For me, before adjusting, it was set about 15 cents sharp. The response is good, Although, again, I still hear a lot of lower partial wanting to creep into the sound. The third fingering that he lists is going to be register, no thumb, first finger, and then bottom side key on the right. That fingering is actually really, really sharp for me. It was 25 to 30 cents sharp, without doing too much to adjust. And I hear a different lower partial wanting to sneak through on that one. So it might be good for like a multiphonic use, some of these, because you could balance those partials with relative ease. Let's try the final one. So this one is, again, register, no thumb, first finger, but then instead of the side key, we have left hand sliver key. This could be a good one for multiphonic use, but for me it's not very stable on its own, and it's very, very sharp, like 40 cents plus. Next up I'm going to try the double high D fingering from Michael Lowenstern's website. He has some awesome resources on his page, Ear Spasm. Definitely one of my absolute favorite bass clarinet players. This fingering has excellent response. It is really sharp for me. I'm going to add my low E key on the right to see if that will do anything for my intonation. It sits around 15 to 20 cents sharp. Definitely much, much better. So if I was going to use that fingering, I would definitely add that right pinky low E. There is a prevalent lower partial that I couldn't quite shake as I was changing my voicing. Finally, I'm going to try out these two fingerings that I got on the Circ B website. I think possibly in another language that is an acronym. In English, they are the International Bass Clarinet Research Center. Today was really the first time I came across that page, but it looked like they might have some interesting information there. First fingering from them, it's thumb and register, 1, 2, 3, and then ring finger and low G sharp key on the right. So actually the tuning on that hovered between in tune and about 10 cents sharp for me, which is really quite good compared to some of the others that I've tried. It's also the most similar to the one that I kind of came up with on my own. This one's definitely a contender. The final one, it's going to be thumb and register, first finger, bottom two side keys on the right, and that low G sharp key. So let's hear that one. Ooh, this one's a stretch for my tiny hands. Ooh, that one is really well in tune. The response is pretty good. It's maybe not the most stable fingering. I feel like if I wasn't really careful with my voicing, I could crack the start of the note, but the intonation is really, really good on this. I think next to the one that I made up myself, that one is probably my favorite. So I'm going to do a little more playing around between those two, and then you'll hear the result on the EP that's coming out this fall.